This is Trash Panda Publishing. Thank you for joining our podcast, where raccoons talk about books and publishing, and of course, anything related to raccoons. I'm your host, David James, and with me is
Lulu Smiles,
the other host of Trash Panda Publishing podcast. We are happy and thrilled that we are both recording successfully. We just did a test and it worked. And Mercy is not with us tonight because today is Sunday and she plays Dungeons & Dragons. She's actually the dungeon master, so she sends her regrets. Now, unless she kills her entire party, then maybe she'll join us, but I don't think that will happen. So normally we record on Saturday nights, but I was out of town yesterday, so we were recording on Sunday nights instead. We have a number of things to go over. One is we've been doing these cards, like discussion cards, and before we started recording, I just randomly pulled one out, and this is what the card says. And I did not pre-select this. I didn't cheat. I didn't even know this card was in here. But this is what the card says: which family member would be most likely to adopt a pet raccoon? And of course, we know the answer to that. And the answer would be Lulu Smiles, of course.
Of course.
But I just found that kind of interesting, and I know people on the can't see this, but I'm going to take a picture of this and put it on Facebook. I'm holding a stuffed raccoon. A friend of mine gave me this raccoon yesterday as a thank you for. I don't know what. I mean, I should have given that person a thank you. They did me a favor, but they actually got me the raccoon instead. They thought that I should have it because of what we're doing here, which leads to my first update. There are puppets coming. I've seen pictures now, not of the full puppet, but of the fur that they are using to make Crimson. Evidently, it's not going to be just one of those generic puppets. It's like a sock. It is going to be a puppet that appears to have fur and 3 different colors. Because if you look at a raccoon's face, a raccoon has got generally at least 3 colors of fur on their face. Raccoons have usually some element of white around their face. They have the bandit mask, and whatever their sort of full body coloring is. In this case, it's gray. But the puppet that's being made for Crimson is going to have 3 types of fake fur on it. It's not real fur. Don't get alarmed. There's no actual real raccoons that were killed to make this puppet. But I did see. When you go, Lulu, when you go to a paint store and you get those little pieces of paper of like colors of paint, what are those things called? Swatches? Yes, thank you. I've seen swatches of the fur for the puppet. So this puppeteer, is that what you call someone who makes puppets?
I think no. A puppeteer is the person who controls the puppet, right?
Sounds right. What is the person who makes the puppets?
A puppet maker.
Okay, the puppet maker. I don't know. I mean, this is not a trick question. Maker. We'll go with that.
I'm gonna.
So while you're doing
officially.
that, I had to fact check myself yesterday or 2 days ago because I didn't know what the formal word was for. I thought it was birdologist. There's no such thing as a birdologist, by the way. There's a birder, but not a birdologist. Birdologist sounds pretty scientific, but that's not correct. It's an ornithologist.
I was gonna say something with an O, right?
Maureen actually, I think it was Maureen from our Facebook groups, corrected me in a private DM, and not corrected me, confirmed that I got it right after I had to go Google it. I guess her mom is a ornithologist. Ornithologist to me, if you would have just put that in a quiz and said, "What is an ornithologist?" I would have said it's a dentist or somebody that hands out glasses, not a birder. So have you looked up what is the name of someone who makes puppets?
A person who makes puppets is most commonly called a puppet maker or a puppet designer.
I like puppet maker. So the puppet maker has sent me on Etsy, which is where I'm getting these made, pictures of the fur. Maybe I'll show you. I know you can't. No, you people who are listening cannot see this. Oh, I guess Etsy is now blocked.
Okay.
I got a virus warning. You have a virus at Etsy's website, so we will not be looking at that. All right. Anyways, puppets are coming, but there's more than just the big fancy dancy crimson puppet. While I was looking for puppets on Etsy, I get sucked into. First of all, Etsy's really cool. I love art and people who are very handy with crafts because I'm not. I'm terrible with crafts, but I really appreciate people who are really good with that stuff. And there's a lot of people who have made really cool finger puppets, like, puppets that just slide on your finger, not your whole hand. And I have ordered 50 finger puppets because they came in a set. They're animals of every type: pigs, cows, chickens, even a bumblebee. And it is going to be, they're all going to have to be named. They're all going to become characters, not in the book. I won't put all these characters in the book, but they will become, eventually, I'm going to create voices for all of them. They will be on this podcast. And I'm going to try to create little videos of finger puppets. I don't know what we're going to do with them, but I can't help but film these things of little fingers doing their thing.
You're going to have to send me some so I can do my part as well.
I'm going to have tons of them. So once I get them all here, we'll do like an NBA draft here, line them all up, and we'll send some to Mercy as well. And I got to figure out the best way to film them because we're going to do voiceovers, right? Well, imagine like if this is like your kitchen counter, or you could do it outside on a stone wall, and your hand goes behind it. So basically, a book would work if you just had a book like this, and you're just filming your finger like it's like walking like this, and then it's got a face on it. So you're just going to turn it like this to talk, right? And if you have two of them, right now I'm holding up my pinky and my index finger, so they're walking, and I can't do it with all my fingers but you basically would need, you could have as many as 4, or you could have 10 puppets. So I guess maybe 4 puppets going in at once. Or if you have some friends that could help you. But the idea is to actually film a bunch of like short 15-second scenes and then do voiceovers. I know they're going to be really, really bad at first until I figure out the formula as to how to make these things clever. But I'm so drawn to this. I don't know why. Why is it, Lulu, that I'm drawn to the idea of making a puppet show?
Did you like puppet show? Like when you were growing up, did you watch like Sesame Street or the Muppets or?
Yes. That was pretty much the only thing I was allowed to watch. Wasn't allowed to watch like cartoons. Well, first of all, there wasn't cable television when I was little. There was only like PBS, and we had rabbit ears. And if I wasn't allowed to watch Saturday morning cartoons or anything, really, it was just PBS is all I was allowed to watch. And that's where the Sesame Street was. So it was the Muppets. And I love the Muppets.
And like Jim Henson, what about like the Dark Crystal or Labyrinth?
Oh, yes. The Dark Crystal was the first movie I ever saw. I begged my mom. I was like 7 years old. I was 8 years old when that movie came out. My sister was 6, and we begged our mom to let Grandma take us to that movie, and she did. That was the first movie I ever saw in a theater.
So I would say that your love for wanting to do something like this probably stems from the magic that you felt of watching that movie when you were a kid.
It probably is clinging to my nostalgia of childhood, yeah, in a very innocent way. Puppets are, like, they're so simplistic, but they're so fun.
I loved Labyrinth, the movie Labyrinth. Like, I was just like, I was so just like engrossed with like the magic of it. And when I was younger, one of my grandmas lived near this theater where they did marionette shows. And it was pretty, like, I don't know. It was pretty cool to see a marionette show. It was like sitting and watching, like Pinocchio live, because like they're just, dancing puppets. But like, like Pinocchio.
Yeah. I did find the picture, by the way, and I'm going to put this as maybe the picture of this podcast picture so everyone else can see it. But this is the Etsy art that is being used for the Crimson Puppet. And you can probably see Lulu, these swats. Is that what you call those little things on the...
Swatches? I think they're
Look
called
at the
swatches,
fur.
right?
Yeah, look, the person who's putting this puppet together, that's what he's going to look like. And you can see that for his bandit mask, they are using what looks to be like this dark, like material that looks like fur.
It
And
all
then
looks like real fur. Like that is...
Yeah, this looks like hair right here.
Uh-huh.
His main body is going to be this sandier color. You can see where the arrows are going. And then around his face, so the bandit mask is very dark, and then around his face, the white part is this white hair. I cannot wait to see how good this is going to come out. I'm so excited.
That is exciting.
They're also, I think the same person is also doing what do you call it? Ava. So this is this is not a raccoon, but this is an example of one of the puppets that this person has made. Can you see that? Oh, no, you didn't.
No.
You didn't. Let me, I got to change what I'm sharing. So I'm sharing, I'll put a picture of this. Maybe they'll use this one as the this picture right here. So this is an example of one of his custom puppets. It's got like the little sticks on the hands, just like the old Sesame Street style.
Uh-huh.
That's a fox, but he's going to make a raccoon that's going to look very similar to that. And I think that white fur that this particular creature has on its belly, is this going to be the same thing that's going to be around his face? But doesn't that look pretty realistic for a fox as a puppet?
It does. That's really cool. I can't wait to see what these look like.
Me either. I did order. I ordered from 2 different people, in case one of them sucks. A backup one.
Have you gotten any idea of what the other ones are going to look like from the other person?
Not to that level, no. Let me see if I can find a picture of a sample of the person who's making Ava. Let's see here. Oh, these are some of the finger puppets I'm getting.
There's the finger puppets.
Aren't these awesome?
Yes, that's cool.
And so they're not all the same. I ordered like this particular person sold me 5, and I ordered because there's so many people making finger puppets. I ordered a total of 50. So they're all from different merchants, and they're all going to be different animals. But this one, here's the bee, here's the cow, there's the sheep, there's the pig, a penguin. They're all going to have names, and they're all going to be living in our woods with us. For some reason, there's a monkey in our woods too, and then they're all oh, it's awesome. All right, let's go on to other stuff. I can look at these puppets all day long. Why don't you tell us about your book? Last time you did, and then I didn't get to share with anyone. So tell us what's going on with your book number 2.
Oh, my book number 2. Well, like I shared last week, it's I don't know. Maybe it's about 3/4 of the way finished. I'm hoping. April is coming to an end pretty quickly, so I'm hoping by mid-May, it will be published. I think I've got, I'd say probably 7 more poems to finish writing, and then I have to do all the path prompts, which I want the prompts to be a little bit deeper than what they were with book 1. So trying to figure out how to make that happen without repeating book one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that will kind of be a little challenge in itself. I don't write every day. And this book is coming from a different place than the first book came from. So it is a little bit more challenging because a lot of what I'm writing about is what I'm also learning about at the same time, as far as like what I'm learning about myself and what I'm learning more about the world. And they not like I know a lot about the world, but like um I guess my world, my inner world. Whereas like the first book was more about, I guess, trauma and chaos, and this is more along the lines of um healing. It's book one is about healing too, but it's also healing from trauma and things like that. And book two is more like, okay, what it's pages of becoming. It's called Pages of Becoming. So it's the poems are really geared towards that, really. Who am I becoming, and what do I have to offer to readers in another book,
I would listen to one of our episodes. I don't know what number it was, but it was the one where the episode where you shared with us the poem that you wrote on the ceiling.
Oh yeah, I think that was like
of your.
episode 12 or something.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
And I'm going from memory because I can't remember the lyrics of the entire poem, but in the poem you were talking about, I asked you a question about poetry. Well, I observed that your poems never went backwards. They always seem to be driving the reader to either pause and or move forward, but there never seemed to be in any of your poems well, you know what? Let's just go back.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about that?
I think I think you're right. And I think I write from a place of like always moving forward and not being stuck in the past. And like there's the past is the past. Like we cannot change what happened. We can learn from it, we can grow from it, we can let it you know break us, and we could stay broken, or we can heal from it. So I think in some small way I want to, or maybe some big way, I'm hoping that readers will pick up on just like forward movement. And it's okay to sit like with your past. It's okay to sit with your trauma, but don't let it define you. So like for me it's always like moving forward. You can loop back around to it, but don't stay stuck there.
So but in one of your prompts in book number one, and I can't remember, you had 2 pages back to back, and one of them, and you'll have to help me how you worded it. One of them talked about setting down the weight that you've been carrying for everyone else.
Yeah, I think that's
how did you word
I think
that?
that's on pages 41 and 42.
But the second prompt right after that, share with us the second prompt.
Okay.
If you can find it. Because I thought that was an amazing series of prompts related to that.
40 and 41. I apologize. So page 40 is, if you're exhausted from carrying the weight of others, let the weight go here. And then page 41 is, write about the weight you've left behind. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. So that's I think the closest I can recall from your writing where there is any kind of, not that you're going backwards, but you're leaving something behind that you've been dragging around with you that came from the past. And but you're asking the person to that second prompt, reflect about it. Why do you think that's important?
Well, because a lot of times people, like, especially in, like, an intimate relationship, I know women do this a lot. I'm sure men do too. They, I know I'm totally guilty of it. Things that are heavy for, say, like, their partner or whatever, like, you tend to carry their trauma as your own in a way. And sometimes, especially like if you have a bad relationship, or there, are not, good dynamics within your relationship, or there's abuse or things like that, like, just the weight of what you're carrying, either for yourself or for your partner or for your children, like, that over time starts to drag you down emotionally, mentally, things like that. So that's one example. And then also, when people get stuck in their trauma, that trauma holds them, like, it also becomes a weight throughout their life that over time gets heavy. So either for themselves or for their relationship, um, one of them is like, talk about what you've been carrying for somebody else, and then the other one is write about what you've let go.
So let me ask you this, because I've asked a friend of mine a question, not so much about weight that I'm carrying for someone else. That would not be I'm going to put the word wounds, not weight, wounds that someone's given you. I'm sure I've given my share of wounds to people, but let's say that someone that you love tremendously has wounded you. And I'm not talking about, well, it doesn't matter. It could be any kind of wound. Everybody's wound is different. But you don't leave. You stay. And but the wound is not crippling. It's not the kind of wound that is so devastating that I've got some emotional baggage, but the wound is still there. And journaling, people have told me journaling, and your book is a journaling type of book where it encourages the reader to release through writing pent up emotions that the poems are tapping on. I think that's the idea. And in that case, those particular prompts are encouraging the reader to examine the emotional baggage of others that they've been lugging around, which has been draining them down.
Right.
But if you swap that out and put the word wound in there, I asked a friend the other day, and when I say the other day, more like 6 months ago, if I wrote down journaling wounds, let's say that my wife has done to me, maybe even by accident, that she doesn't know, and I write it down, and I think I'm releasing this energy, this negative pent up energy, and then God forbid I get hit by a chicken truck, and then I die, and then she comes into my office here and finds my journal and finds what I wrote, and now I've harmed her because there's no way for me to ever repair that. I'm dead. I can't have a discussion with her about that now. And I have been so scared of journaling for real about feelings for fear that they would be read and misinterpreted, particularly after I'm gone. What would you advise someone about that kind of fact pattern?
Well, what is honestly holding you back from just bringing up those things with your wife? And do you think by bringing up those things with her that she would feel wounded even more? And is it weighing on you in some subconsciously emotional way? It must be, because you're bringing it
Yeah,
up,
it is.
right?
I mean, we've talked about it, and she's dismissive. And she's like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." But the big deal
But the
is
big
it hurts,
but the big deal is
and I
not
can't
for
get.
her, but it is weighing on you, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not crippling. I'm only. This is not a psychoanalytical session about me. It's more about I'm hesitant to really be honest in journaling for fear that it would be misinterpreted, particularly if it's about someone that you actually care about. If it's about the world in general, like I hate the world, like I could journal that. But in that case, we do talk about it. We have talked about this wound. She thinks I've blown it out of proportion. If I continue to go on about it, particularly in writing, I just don't. For me, it might help me, but I don't think it would be helpful for her at all. But anyway, I'm just curious what your thought is on that. Which I know is why when you do it in counseling sessions, you have doctor-patient privilege, so you have to worry about that.
Yeah, for me, like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings with anything that I have to say. If I do that, it's, please know that it's not intentional. But I don't know. I guess I've just, throughout my life, just, you know what, like, when when I don't say what I need to say, or if I tell you something that may come off as a lie or whatever, like, I don't know what it is, but like, my brain can't handle it. Like, I will play it over and over and over and over and over. If I feel like I did something that was like morally wrong or whatever, like, I will literally make myself sick over it until I right that wrong. And you know what I mean? So like, for me, like if I did something to hurt your feelings and you didn't tell me, but I could tell that, like, now there's some, different dynamic you know, when we interact, I would ask you seriously, like, what's going on? Is everything okay? And like, I would hope that, like, we've built a good enough relationship that you'd be like, hey, yeah, remember last time when you XYZ? Well, this is how it made me feel, and that's where this is coming from. Because, like, if it was the opposite, I would tell you, David, DJ, you said this is how you made me feel, and this is why I'm acting this way now.
Well, as I think if I was younger in relationships, like particularly romantic relationships, the fear of rejection for me was big. Um, maybe that's true for everybody, but for me, I always felt like I would have to be the one to walk on eggshells and would be less likely to stand up for myself for fear of the other person dumping you. And I don't know if that's true for everybody. And I definitely know that it's true for some women who end up in situations with abusive men. And I used to say, I still think this, and then I realize I'm being a hypocrite when I say this. I don't know why a woman would stay with a guy who's like that. And then I'm like, well, you're an idiot because you used to, not that women abused me, but you would never stand up for yourself. Not with my wife, but I'm talking about when I was actually dating a long time ago. It's no different. The only difference is the woman wasn't physically abusing you. She was just mentally abusing you or emotionally abusing you.
Controlling you.
Yes, exactly. And it's just funny that Jeff even said out loud. I realizes that for women, it's just like, it can be the same thing. The difference is that a man generally can exert physical force or economic control, depending. And it's sad when I'm just saying this out loud, I'm making myself sad here.
I mean, you don't hear about, I mean, I think you hear about it more now, but you still don't hear about it as much. But like women can, women can be the same way, like they can economically and physically be abusive to men and definitely controlling. There are a lot of women that have control issues and
No, you're not wrong about that. I'm just talking about like, it's usually not the woman's not generally going to beat the man up, or force their way sexually on a man. That's usually not common. It's usually the way around.
It's not as, I mean, it's more common now than you think. I used to work in domestic violence, and yeah, you see it a lot more than it's ever reported. But
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. I don't. It doesn't make me happy. It just surprises me.
Yeah, it's
All right, let's
okay. Let's move on. We're
yeah,
getting
we're just turning into
psychological
Oprah here. All right, so we've covered PAX East 2027. I did sign the contract last week to go. I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. Even if Mad as a Hornet is not done, I'm going to go back and I'm going to re-exhibit A Scholar's Wish again for a second time because I had a lot of fun. And I'll bring the puppets this time. And I'll have some experience by that point. Maybe the puppets will go viral between now and next April. It's a year. It's a year from April 22 through 27 is next PAX. So
Hey, maybe if we get really good with the puppets, we could do a Crimson and Ava like road show.
that'd be so fun.
Just travel the country doing Crimson and Ava.
I mean, isn't that how Beavis and Butthead? Not Beavis and Butthead. Simpsons started as a shorts. They were on the Tracy Ullman show. They were like 2 minutes long, and now look what happened to them. They're like huge.
Right?
So you just never know. So when I signed the contract with PAX East, I had a call with the chief operating officer for PAX East. He does a debrief with people who were exhibiting. And I told him I was doing these puppets, and he goes, "This is an excellent idea." So they know that I'm doing it, and they're looking forward to the videos.
What about Mad as a Hornet? Do you think that you think you'll have it done by the end of the year, or?
The Tuesday is my final exam for my cybersecurity law class. This Tuesday, and I am not taking summer classes, and I'm only taking one class in the fall. And I did that on purpose because I need to finish. I do think if I buckle down and just stop talking about it, I can finish. This is what happened to me before. I talked about writing a book for 10 years and then just talked about it and then finally did it. And I had to get a writing coach, which will be a good transition to move into our writing coaches. And then when I started writing A Skull's Wish, I got so addicted to writing. I couldn't stop writing. It was like probably like smoking cigarettes to you. Maybe you want to tell us what you're doing there.
Yeah, I've almost quit. I mean, it's really just a matter of just not asking people that I know for a cigarette, people that I know that smoke. It's really just me kind of just holing up in the RV and not really going anywhere and just kicking it. But I'm like 98.
But it is addictive, isn't it?
It is.
So to me,
and it's
writing,
kind of like the only thing, I mean, I don't drink or anything anymore, so it's kind of like the last thing I got to hold on to. Sad as that is.
Well, you have something else that will become your vice. Write a poem every time you want to smoke a cigarette instead.
There you go.
So for me, writing, and I've never smoked a cigarette and I've never taken drugs, so I don't know the addictive nature of those things. But I used to be a social alcoholic before when I was in law school. Never full alcoholic, but in a social environment, I couldn't stop drinking. If there were more than two people around, I had to drink. I would never drink by myself. That to me is like full blown alcoholic. But in a social environment, I had to drink. I did finally break that, and I was addicted. But writing, once I got into A Skull's Wish, it was like that same level of addiction. I could not stop. Like I thought about it constantly. I carried this little like leather notebook around to write notes, and just it was like it just was fully immersed, fully addictive for a year. When I was done, I was exhausted. But I'm at this point now where I'm like, okay, I've written 5 chapters, 6 chapters. I've recorded them. They're on the last podcast. Half the 4 chapters have been recorded. I listened to them on the way home today from the funeral, and I'm like, it sounds good. I don't know if you listened to it,
Yeah.
but I liked what I wrote. My characters are fully developed. The world is. I still have a lot more world building to do. Plus, I have a little bit of an ego from the perspective I'm like, yeah, I know I can do this and I can win awards. Look at me. Like, it's not, it's stupid. I shouldn't do that because there's no guarantee that the second book is going to be anywhere close as good as the first one. In fact, I'm beginning to worry that it's not going to be as good. It is a love story, but it's totally different. I will finish it, but will it be done in time for PAX East? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I should write it as long. That's the other thing. Some people have told me that the book is long or longer than it should be. Not that it's bad. They don't say it's bad. They're just like you have to be fully committed to reading a book that's 661 pages. Most books are half that. I mean, mine's like a double novel. In fact, I was like looking at books from like James Patterson and other. A lot of those books are like 320 pages.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do I do with Mad as a Hornet? Do I drop down to 320 pages? Can I even tell the story properly in 320 pages? I don't know. Anyways, that's where I'm at.
Well,
Um,
I think I think for you it is a slightly different process because yeah, you know that A Scholar's Wish did really well, is doing really well. But I don't think that it's fair to even try to compare your second book to the first book, honestly.
well, I'm going to Vegas this weekend to get an award in person on Monday for Pencraft's best adventure book, or maybe it's fantasy. I can't remember which one they're giving me. But I get to give a 1 minute speech. I haven't written that speech yet. What should I say?
What is the award for?
It's the Pencraft Best Book Award for adventure.
Hmm.
Should I talk like Crimson? Well, it's about time you finally recognize me. I've been writing books for a long time.
Thanks for the award. It was fun writing. What a great adventure. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I just realized I need to write a speech, and it's got to be a minute long.
I mean, a
But
minute
I'll be
long
in.
is not very many words. It's not very long for a minute.
Yeah, and probably I've never written a speech. I've never received an award before where I had to give a speech, so it's all new to me. I guess I have to watch some Grammy awards to see. Do you have to thank your mom? Like, what do you?
I mean, you could you could thank your love for Dungeons and Dragons for D&D for helping you create the
Well,
characters
actually,
and
that's a good idea. Maybe what I should do is look in my acknowledgement section at the book because I already did all this, and maybe just take that and shorten it. It's a
then
good idea.
like I don't know, everybody who um has bought your book. Thank you everybody for all the support in buying your book. Oh, I was going to tell you too. I haven't finished it yet, but I love the audio book of Escala's Wish.
Oh, you're listening to it then,
Yeah,
huh?
I've been listening to it. I haven't gotten all the way through, but I think he did a really good job.
How far are you in?
I don't know. I think I'm only like on chapter like 20 something, 23, I think, 24.
So there's a couple of edits that he's had to make on the book that will be published again in about 10 days. Nothing major, like a couple places where he mispronounces a word. Like at one point, as opposed to saying Escala, he calls her Alaska. And another place where it's actually in the scene, you may have actually got to this part where they're walking to Dunwell and they encounter the direwolves. And I won't say the whole scene, but Roden says, "Drop on my signal." And in the audiobook, it says, "Drop on my signal, drop on my signal." He basically said the line twice, but it's not written in the book as twice.
Right.
So I'd tell him, like, can you cut out that second "drop on my signal"? That's not in the book. Those little things like that. If you're listening to the audiobook, you probably won't pick up on those things. But I think he did an amazing job. His voice is just so good.
Yeah, I like his voice. I think he's doing a good job so far. My dog is crying at me. He just needs to go out really quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. While she is going out, I am going to talk a little bit about two resources that, if you are new to the writing game and are wondering, are there magazines for writers? There are, actually. There are three. One is called Writer, and it is, you can get this at Barnes & Noble. The other one is called Writer's Digest. And the third one is called Poets and Writers. Now, I used to subscribe to all three, and I don't subscribe to Writer anymore. And I don't know why. I think the reason I stopped is because it wasn't, I don't know, maybe I couldn't find it, or maybe I couldn't find it in the news aisle. Or maybe the reason is that the story types were not, I don't know. Let me come at this a different way. Writer's Digest, I think, is a little bit more interesting for what I do. Writer's Digest has 3 or 4 things in it that are useful. Number one, there is a conference guide in the back. And this is basically, it's by state and by date. And this magazine comes out every 2 months. Also, you can look on their website for pretty much everything in their magazine for free. So you don't even really need to subscribe. It is writersdigest.com if you're curious. They have tons of conferences for writers. So pick your state, and a lot of times they're held at hotels, sometimes they're held at colleges. Some of them are free. A lot of them are not, but a lot of them are free, and they are, sometimes they're lectures, sometimes they're workshops, sometimes they're by genre. Some of them are actually like getaways where you go to a hotel and you're there for like a week, and it's like a mini vacation. Some of them are even like cruises. I've never done any of the big cruises. I've only done like the day trip ones, the ones that are in Boston. The other thing that they have in the magazine is there's lots of articles on the business side of writing. I don't really enjoy those types of articles, meaning how do you write a query letter, or how do you write? How do you become a freelance writer for magazines? I don't care about that, but those things are in here. But there is every single issue. There's usually 1 to 3 literary agents that are highlighted, and like I'm looking right now, Alicia Brooks is listed. She's a literary agent, and it's like a little bio of her. It shows books that she's most recently brought to market. It talks about what she's looking for, which is right now she's looking for nonfiction writing from like memoirs, self-help, pop culture, social justice, literary fiction, horror stories, and young Jewish issues. There's kind of a cornucopia of things. But basically, the long and the short of it is a great way to find agents that maybe, if you're lucky, you could. These are agents that are looking for. Well, how would you say it? Basically, new books. I always get encouraged when I see those. Although, to be honest, I've never once ever received a letter back. The other thing they have on these websites is websites for webinars and tutorials. There's an entire academy that's linked to Writer's Digest and you can also look on their website for these things. Writing workshops that are on Zoom. Writing workshops on Zoom classes. Just like looking at this one right now on how to write characters, how to write dialogue, how to write a plot in 3 weeks, how to write horror stories. These are some. I've actually attended 2 of these. They're a lot of these are free. There's an actual paid university. I have never done any of the paid university ones, but that's why I picked Writer's Digest magazine to subscribe to. It is, I think the publish rate is $29.99 a year for 6 issues, but it is but like I said, you can get almost everything off of the webpage. You don't even really need to subscribe. Just go to writersdigest.com. The other one is Poets and Writers. This one is it's a lot more about poetry, but there's a lot more poetry contests and writing contests listed in here. For example, I'm just looking right now. There are poetry contests that are happening from, get my glasses on here. Just looking at page 3 here. The Heinz Literary Prize for short fiction writers from University of Pittsburgh has a contest. The deadline is July 31st, and they are handing out prizes of $25,000 and manuscripts to be in English. They are short fiction. They have to be ready for publication. And there's like a QR code here that you can scan to hit the submission deadlines or guidelines. My guess is there's different types of genres. And there's also right below this is a poetry contest. They are going to be handing out first, second, and third prizes for poetry, $2,000 for first prize, $1,000 for second prize, $500 for third prize. And this, I'd say pretty much looking at the ads in this magazine, a ton of these ads are basically poetry contests. Here's a short fiction contest from the Book Publication of America convention. I've never heard of them, but they're handing out cash prizes as well. The reason I even bring this up is and Lulu is a poet, so this is a place where send your poems in. We were just talking about this one beforehand here. There's one called Narrative Magazine. Never heard of it, but they're handing out $5,000 in prizes for poetry contest this summer. Deadline is July 29. There's also one right above that. Cathlum University has a poetry writing contest this summer. It doesn't say that there's cash prizes, but it does look like they might give a scholarship to their university. I guess that'd probably be more if you actually want to go to college for that.
Didn't you submit a short story to a contest not too long ago? Was it Mad as a Hornet? Or
yeah, I did. I did. And that's the problem with that is, well, first of all, Yes, I did. That was a $50,000 contest, and the deadline was March 31st, which I met. But the rule is I cannot enter that same story in any other contest. Like that was the condition of entering it. Like once I submit that, then if I submit it anywhere else, then I'm automatically disqualified.
And when will you hear from the contest if you were
I
selected
think
or?
it's the end of June is when they're going to decide. So I suppose if I lost and I could still rush around to meet the deadline for something in July, then I would resubmit to one of these other ones, which I probably would do if I lost. But I wanted to share those two things. The other thing I was going to mention in Writer's Digest, in the classified section in the back, is where I found my writing coach. And what is a writing coach, you might ask? Well, if you've ever gone to the gym and you've heard of the concept of a personal trainer at the gym, do you need a personal trainer when you go to the gym? No. Most people know that you lift weights or you run on a treadmill. Do you need a personal trainer to tell you to do that? Well, some people do because they don't have enough motivation to do it themselves, or they don't know what combination of weights to lift or the proper form. They don't know how to do the exercises, but they know they need to do the exercises, so they hire a personal trainer to help them with their workout. Well, writing coaches are the same concept except for writing. So when I was finally done talking about writing a book, and I knew I needed structure. I had read, I don't know, a dozen books on how to write a novel. I have a box of them in the basement. They're all very exciting, except I didn't follow anything in those books. It just they were too formulaic. It's hard for me to explain. Maybe what I'll do is one of these days I'll take one of those books out of the box. It was called like How to Write a Novel in a Month. Sounds so promising until you realize like there's just no way you could write a novel in a month and have it be good. I just don't think it's possible. But I needed a writing coach. I needed someone to actually like tell me, here's what you do. Here's how much time you should spend on this. Here's the order of things you should do it in. Someone I could talk to and ask questions of, like a consultant. So I found a writing coach in the classified section, and you pay them. They're not free. It's like no different than paying a personal fitness trainer to help you. So I hired this person for 3 months, and I met with them once a week for a half hour to basically submit. Well, they wrote me a game plan, if you will. Like, here's how to structure your time during the week. It started with an interview. How much free time do you have? What is your writing goals? What are you trying to write? A novel. Okay. When do you want to publish it? I said, I want to publish it on my birthday in December of 2025. Okay, and at that time it was October of 24. All right, here is a game plan. Here is a project plan to get you from where you are to publishing. And to do that, this is how much time you're going to have to spend. This is how many steps there are in the plan. This is, this is the software you're going to need. These are all the like logistical things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get ISBN numbers, blah, blah, blah. I knew some of that, but much of it was new to me. And so anyway, so we're kind of rambling here, but this particular issue, they don't always have writing coaches in here, but this one does. There is a writing coach who has put her ad in the back of this newsletter. And here's what it says. Blocked, struggling, I'll help you. I'll help you write, edit, or publish. I'm a breakthrough writing coach with published authors. I'm an experienced editor, teacher, and a compassionate mentor. Breakthrough individualized incentives. She's in the Maryland, DC, and Virginia area. She has a PhD, and the website is called storyweaving.com. This is not my writing coach. My writing coach is in Massachusetts and is actually an English professor at a local college here, at a community college. So I just bring it up because if you are listening to this and you're like, I am stuck, I don't know what to do, get a writing coach. Storyweaving.com, I don't know anything about this website. All I'm saying is a writing coach really helped me get from talking about writing into actually doing it and finishing it. And I would say the best way to probably find one is ask around. Ask people who you know, if you know any like English teachers that do this on the side. There's a lot of people who will like moonlight and do this on the side. Community college English professors, probably even some high school English professors would definitely, you'll probably find some in your area at very affordable rates, would be my suggestion. You can find them on Fiverr as well, or Readsy, but you're going to pay more, and it's probably less likely that you'll have a personal connection. So anyways, that's my 2 tips of the day for writing resources. I really enjoy these magazines. I read them on airplanes, and since I'm going on an airplane this week, that's why I have these out, and they'll be coming with me on the plane.
What was the poetry
What else?
magazine again, DJ?
Oh, it's called Poet and Writer.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And this one has a website too. This website is called pw.org. So P is for poet, W is for writer, so pw.org. And it looks like they have much of their magazine content also posted.
I'm gonna look at the writing contest, but the only thing that really stops me, if you want to know, from like entering contests is one, like a lot of the ones that I see, there's like an entrance fee, which obviously is not something I can really spend money on. And then some of them I've seen are like maximum length of poems 3 pages. I'm like, 3 pages? Who's writing a 3-page poem? I don't know, that seems kind of excessive, but I mean, I guess they're out there, so who am I to say anything? But and I don't know, I should probably speak better about my poetry. I just don't feel maybe I shouldn't say this at all. Never mind.
Where I was going with, did I
like who are you up against when you're submitting, like poems to a contest? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I don't anything.
It's like, when you go into the supermarket and they have like those like around the holidays, like those coloring pages for kids, and they have a contest, like like you think that you can color really good, but then like you see the next kids and they're like, wow, that looks so amazing.
Oh, that's funny.
Like kind of deflates your your purpose for joining the contest, for coloring the picture.
Well, I don't know anything about poetry contests, meaning I don't know how many people even apply to these things. I know for the book contests, like the ones that I've won or finished second, in some cases they tell you like how many people like were in your contest. Sometimes they don't. Like fantasy is a very popular genre for people to write, and sometimes it's like 50 to 100 books that I'm competing against, which is a lot. So to win against 100 books, even against 50 books, is like amazing to me. Even finishing second is like amazing to me. This website, by the way, also has this literary agent database, which I know people who are really eager to be what's called traditionally published. This is a place where you can find agents. I looked here. I never had any success, but it is here. So for example, let's find you're a poet. Let's see if poetry is listed. What would you call yours? Speculative poetry, visual poetry, prose poetry, just poetry in general. Let's do that.
Right, let's
Electronic
just do that.
submission, and let's list all 100 and let's see what we come up with here. How many agents are it's searching?
Is it searching? Is it like zero? Well, zero agents?
Yeah, here we go. Here are the agents. Bill Clegg, Ann DeWitt, Tanya McKinnon. So there's 4. 5. And let's just say that, well, let's look at Tanya McKinnon. Let's see what her website says. You can see who she represents. So these are actual other poets that are published. You would find somebody that you like, hey, I write like them. But like I said, when I was doing when I was trying to get traditionally published, oh, you have to log in, and I don't have an account here. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, you can register for a free account. Well, I won't do that now. But long story short, WP.org is I do subscribe to the magazine. I may have an account here, but I don't think I've ever used it.
No, it's
What did I say?
pw.org. WP.
It's not WP. Yeah, you're right. Crimson, you idiot. It's PW. All right, what else do we have on our agenda? We talked about puppets. We talked about the magazines. We talked about a writing coach. We talked about the stuffed raccoon, your book. Oh, Tabletopia. So Tabletopia is a website for board games. And I love board games. And when I say board games, I'm not talking about Monopoly, although I like Monopoly too. It is it has been called the what do you call it? Thank you. I was
Netflix.
struggling to I'm Googling it right now, and I have what is going on here? The dogs are in my lap, so I can't use my hands. Oh, come on, dog. So sorry, I'm what a terrible podcast. There's like epic silence on the here. So Tabletopia is the Netflix of board games, and when we're talking about board games, we're talking about like more complex board games, like Wingspan, for example, is an indie game that is quite popular. Stardew Valley was a video game actually, and is now a board game. And how it works is you can create a free account, so you don't have to pay anything. The free account will not give you access to every single game that they have. There are games that are called premium, and you do have to pay like a monthly fee, kind of like Netflix, to get access to those. It is not AI, meaning this is not like a video game. This is a virtual table. You have to know the rules of the game because you will be manipulating the dice and the cards on the table yourself, no different than if you were sitting at your dining room table. If the game is a single player game, you play it. If the game is multiple players, you can play for everybody if you want, or you can play other players online because there's, like I said, it's like the Netflix of games. And I'm looking right now, there are 32 online games happening right this second, and there are 20 people logged in, and they are playing various games, and you can see what games are happening. The reason I bring this up is because I love board games. When I was at PAX East, not half, we'll call it a quarter of the booths there are basically game manufacturers, very complex European style worker games, very unique card games. When I say card, I'm not talking about Magic the Gathering either. Magic is not on this platform. And I created a free account, and I'm going to demo this thing and see if I like it. And Lulu was telling me you like board games, so we may try this. And if you are a board game person and you're like, you know what, I love board games too, if we're going to report back as to whether or not this thing is fun or not, if it's even workable. And if it is, mostly for our Facebook friends, we maybe once at least try to host a session where we play games on Tabletopia. I will put the link in our podcast description. What's a game that you like, Lulu?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've never heard of any of these games, but my daughter, I think, what was it,
Yeah.
Stardew Valley?
She plays that?
Yeah, she's played that game before. Yeah,
That
she plays
game
that.
is
Probably not available in the free version.
no, but only one of us has to pay for the subscription, by the way. If one person pays for the $10 a month, everyone else can play at the table for free. So, and you can play this one. This is a free game. Look at that, free.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So this basically, it's based off the video game, and they have all the little videos here on how. So basically, you'd have to watch the videos to see how to play the board game, and then we could log in and play it. 4 people, up to 4 people can play, or you can play by yourself. But this is, to me, like, I love board games, and my wife, the games she likes are like the more traditional ones, like Clue or Scrabble or Uno, and I like those too. But I like playing these more complex things like this. So that's our. We're going to report back as to whether or not this is a fun alternative or not, and then we'll let people know. Well, what do you think? We have anything else to go over, or should we do our improv?
Yeah, I think that was everything that we were going to cover.
So what's been happening on the improv the last couple of days? Because I was recording by myself because other people were not available because I didn't tell them I was recording. Was we have a new character on the show named Caron Oops. It's spelled Karen Hoops, but it's pronounced Caron Oops. He is a Sean Connery impersonator, a Scottish fox. He's a detective. He's in Briarwoods, and he's looking for Crimson Jack Acorn III because he believes Crimson has done some illegal tomb raiding. Now, only some of you have actually read chapters 1 through 6 of Mad as a Hornet, because in chapters 1 through 6, there is some tomb raiding that's happening. Last episode of this podcast, I read 1 through 4. There is no tomb raiding in chapters 1 through 4. So it won't make complete sense, but it doesn't matter for this improv. Just know that Crimson's in trouble once again. And so how the episode ended last week or a couple days ago is that and I didn't mix it really well at the very end, but if you listen to the bloody end where I usually say stay curious, Crimson takes over the control booth of the podcast and says that you can't kick him off the show. The show is called the Crimson and Ava Show, for goodness sakes, and he's Crimson and he's not leaving. And Karin Oops says that he is going to kick down the door and throw a smoke grenade in there. And meanwhile, you got Dimitri outside the door threatening to hit him with a sack of hot nickels. And Crimson is like, come on, Ava, we're going to climb through the air conditioning vent. And then the explosion goes off. And then the police say, we've got you surrounded, but you don't really know whether Crimson made it out or not. And I don't tell you. And that's how the last one ended. Welcome to the Crimson Ava Show, starring Crimson Jack Acorn III and Ava Honeysuckle. Tonight's episode, we find Crimson and Ava running away from the studio after Crimson threatened to take it over and had to be chased out with a smoke grenade. Well, that was close. Is your fur singed there, Ava?
Yes. Do you see what you did?
Well, let me see your tail. Spin around there for me.
This one time only, can you look at my tail? Is it singed? Is it burnt?
Well, hold still. I can't. Shake your hips. Let me see.
No. Just.
Well, it looks beautiful. I'm glad you're okay. Well, you got to keep moving, though. I think they're coming.
What did you do, Crimson? Why is this detective after you? Who is he? Why? Oh.
Well, first of all, I've locked myself in the studio there, and they didn't like that. That was it. That's all that I've done. And that guy's name is, get this, he's a detective from the Big Apple. The Big Apple! And his badge is full of typos. It says Caron Hoops, but he pronounces it, well, let me rephrase that. It's spelled Karen Hoops, but he pronounces it Caron Oops. Can you believe that?
Well, a name is a name is a name. What's it matter to you? How it's spelled or how it's pronounced?
I don't think he knows who he is.
What is this? Why are you making a big deal of him being from the Big Apple?
Why is he here?
I don't know. Maybe that's something you should tell me. Maybe I should be asking you that question.
Well, it's probably not a good question to be asking, actually. He's investigating something, and Dimitri's in big trouble. That's all I can tell you. He's got a sack of hot illegal nickels, and this Cornucopia is going to do something about it.
How do you know that these nickels are illegal? And again, what does it matter to you?
Have you ever seen Dimitri with a license for those nickels?
Do you have to have a license for nickels?
Well, I don't have a license for the nickels, do you?
No.
Well, that's why I don't carry a bag of hot nickels. I don't have a license. I also don't have any nickels either.
They're not even nickels.
Well, what are they then?
I don't know. I just thought about that. What if they're not even nickels?
What if they were like baby skulls inside that sack?
Oh, that's
What if
horrible.
Dmitri Gorbachev was carrying around baby skulls in that sack? That's why I think Karen Oops is here. Nothing to do with me, I'm innocent.
Are you sure? Because why would you lock yourself in the sound room or the recording room when we were... Why did you even leave me in the recording room anyways?
I pulled you through the air conditioning unit. I wasn't leaving you in there. Go back and listen to the recording. I said, Ava, we've got to escape. I would not leave you in there, ever.
But why did we have to be locked in there and then escape through the air conditioning vent and get my tail singed?
Well, I can massage it for you if that would help.
No, I don't want that. I just want some answers. Why?
Well...
Come on, Crimson. You can tell me.
He thinks that I did something inappropriate.
Inappropriate how? Did you?
Absolutely not. I had a writ.
I'm not... I would hope that you would tell me the truth, but I'm really second-guessing that you may not because you don't want to upset me.
Well, I don't want to upset you, but lying to
Do
you
you
is
think
not a
I'll
good...
be disappointed in you?
I didn't do anything wrong, so I don't think there'd be anything to be disappointed about, except I didn't win, and...
Well, I don't think you're being honest with me, and you know how I don't like dishonesty.
The problem is that I was with Miss Cassidy Vance in a place that we had permission to be, and something went wrong.
Who gave you permission? Miss Cassidy Vance?
No, this pharaoh queen person did. It's a long story. Remember when I was gone for a while?
Yes. I thought you were in jail. Well, that's what you said anyways.
Well, I was in jail for part of it, that's true, but I did get out, and, well, I tried to get a royal title. You know, like Baron or Duke or something like that. Something to impress you. Because
to impress me?
I thought maybe, look, you told me to be honest, right?
Yes.
I thought maybe, just maybe, if I was the Duke of Briar Woods and I don't know, put a pinecone ring on your finger, that maybe you'd stay and be the Duchess of Briar Woods with me and not go to the Big Apple.
Well, I do appreciate your honesty, but I also have to live my dreams, and going to the Big Apple is my dream. And putting yourself in danger, how does that make sense? How does that make sense at all? To put yourself in danger in hopes of getting... Do you see where I'm going with this? What if you would have died? Or something worse?
I don't die. I'm too good for that. I'm too clever.
Well, now you have Detective Karen Oops after you.
Well, he's upset because something happened in the tomb.
I don't suppose you're going to tell me what.
Well, we were there legally. Let's just say I wasn't doing anything illegal. Except, well, there was a cursed item in there that I wasn't supposed to touch. Miss Vance said no, and
Wait, let me guess. You promised not to touch anything, and you didn't keep the promise, right?
It's complicated. I can't say more.
Well, they're probably not far behind, Crimson, so we better get running.
Good idea. I don't know what to do now. Because if Karen Oops catches me, I'm in big trouble. Because there is a very, how should I say this, evil thing out there in the world that's looking to kill him. We don't even know who him is. And it's my fault.
Well, there's only one place that you could hide that he's probably not ever going to look, but it's also a very dangerous
I get to come to
place
your
for
house
you to-
finally. Oh, praise.
No, not my house.
Oh,
That's probably the first place they're going to look.
I don't think so. You've made it perfectly clear that that's never happening, so it'd be the best place for me to go. Right?
I mean, I'm sure sooner or later Mr. Corn Hoops is going to come and question me. If he
Are you going to
thinks that
lie?
there's... I'm going to be honest.
What are you going to tell him?
I don't... I'll have to see whatever his questions are.
Please don't talk to Miss Vance, though. I'm not certain that her version would be flattering.
I'm not going to talk to Miss Cassidy Vance. But the only place I could think of for you to hide where he may not find you, but it could also mean something bad for you, is Mr. McGregor's garden. Under his house, maybe. I don't think he would find you there.
Mr. McGregor's
But
garden.
Mr. McGregor might find you.
Well, the road is right there.
Get in position.
Look, they're coming now. We should split up now. I'm going to run across the road, and you should hide quickly before they see us together.
Stay safe, Crimson.
No, wait,
Stay
I need
safe.
a hug. I need a hug. Why are you leaving me? Ava, come back.
Freeze! Police!
Get to safety, Crimson.
All right,
Stop,
I've got to
or I'll
go.
shoot.
Find out next week on Crimson Ava Show whether Crimson actually makes it across the road or not, whether Miss Cassidy Vance actually does talk to Ava Honeysuckle, and whether Mr. Karen Hoops actually interviews and catches anyone. Just find out on the next Crimson on the Crimson and Ava Show. That's good. It turned into
That
like
was a
Dallas.
good long one. That was a good one.
It wasn't so much funny as it was more like drama. Once I put
Right.
the sound effects in there, I might have to come up with a new song.
You
The
could,
music,
like this version, you could do like a detective song, like the Pink Panther or something.
so I have the music that I get this from is I get it from this royalty free music site that I pay $10 a year, and I can use all the music I want. I can't own it, but I can use it on the podcast. So that's where I get that song from. But they have like a million songs on there. So I'm going to see if I can find a Pink Panther type song. That's a good idea. Oh, man.
Or like,
All right, well-
or like a Scooby-Doo mystery song or something.
Or maybe both, because I don't know how long that improv was, but maybe there could be two songs that transition in there. So, well, next week I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm going to take this microphone with me, and maybe we could record while I'm in Vegas. It won't be Saturday night because I'm flying on Saturday night, but Sunday or even Monday. Monday I'll be at the award show. Could be Tuesday or Sunday, or Tuesday and Sunday, depending. But I'm definitely going to record from Vegas and make little videos as well. So hopefully you're around next week. We can do part 2. I think we need Mercy because I want to have Miss Vance and Cassidy have a little discussion about this tomb rating.
Yeah, but she can't do it on Sundays.
Maybe we have to do it on a Tuesday then.
Yeah. I'm
Because
available whenever, yeah.
we need her to tell Ava the reason that Crimson touched the thing.
Yeah.
Because Crimson's not ever going to admit that. And those
I'm
of you who are
surprised he
listening,
admitted as much as he did tonight.
well, for those who don't know anything about these characters, Ava and Miss Cassidy Vance are a love triangle with Crimson. He likes both of them, and neither one of them like him, or as far as he knows, like him. And but he knows both of them do not tolerate lying, and if he gets caught in a lie, he knows his chances are like pretty much zero. But yet, all he does is get so caught up in mistruths. It's like watching Three's Company. Remember that show?
Yeah, I love
It's
that
like
show.
literally like Three's Company, where it's like constantly something going wrong. That's what I'm trying to write here.
With raccoons.
With raccoons, yeah. Well, we're gonna wind down here, and I'll move to post production here. But we will maybe later this week, when my final is over, we can attempt this Stardew Valley game. But create a free account; it's free, and and we'll both try to figure out how to play this Stardew Valley game. Watch the tutorial video, and then we'll give it a
I'll
whirl.
do that. Awesome. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and like all raccoons,
Stay curious.
bye everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Trash Panda Publishing Podcasts. And like all raccoons, stay curious.